So, welcome, friends. Hello, friends. Welcome. Salem Mason, happy home. It's Friday, May 16, 2025. It's just getting, the years are moving so fast. First of all, I do want to thank everyone who sent me condolences and prayers and thoughts for the loss of our beautiful Fiona. It is felt. I am open to that energy, and I thank you for that energy. And we'll elaborate a little more on that with One Foot In, which I will get post out on my other podcast, my paranormal podcast, this weekend. I wanted to talk about two things. First, this crazy thing with Comey and them discovering him, and he was walking on the beach and he discovered that somebody, possibly him or somebody he knew, we don't know if he accidentally happened upon it or whatever, but that someone had fashioned seashells that said 8647, and it is common knowledge that 86 is to get rid of, to fire, to remove, and 47 obviously is President Trump's number now. So it's being taken very seriously. A lot of people are, circling the wagons and looking into this because we don't know who put it down there, but regardless of who put it down there in the shells, for one thing, where the hell did they get all those shells? I've been on beaches, people. A lot of dirt, sand, rocks, wood, but that was an awful lot of shells. And I'm like, God, where the hell did anybody get all those shells? They look like they went to Hobby Lobby and bought those shells, okay? And it's serious because whether he or someone he knew knowingly and deliberately put those shells there and staged it, it doesn't matter if he happened upon it or not. Photographing it, speaking about it, and then advertising it on social media, you can't do that. That's like if I see a post and someone says, they've got a machine gun and they want to shoot somebody up, and I just repost it. It's kind of like you're involved, you're continuing that, you have active involvement, you're taking ownership of that. And the right thing to do, anybody, no matter who you are, the right thing to do would have been to call 911 and let them know, I happened upon this on the beach, and just wanted to report it because I looked at it and I kind of thought it meant get rid of Trump. Might be something to look into. And the reason is that some of the Tesla terrorists a few months ago, the people that were blowing up Teslas and scratching, keying their cars and everything, apparently they were scratching 8647 into some of the cars. So we have this known terrorist, bubble of people, and that was something that they were scratching into the cars. So it's highly, highly suspicious. And James Comey, when he put the original post out, he said, I assume this was political. So he knew immediately upon looking at it or happening upon it that it was political, and that it had implications. He is ex-military, so he knows that 86 is a common term used daily, all the time in the military. So he knew what it meant. He knew all about it, and whether he put those shells there or not, whether he went to Hobby Lobby and bought the shells, I hope they look into receipts to see if he and or somebody he knows went to Hobby Lobby and bought the shells. Because the right thing to do would have been to maybe call 911 or call the non-emergency and say, hey, I came upon this, it might be something, and let law enforcement make the decision, and you walk away. You don't post it. It's like Good Samaritan laws. If you see a car crash and you stand there and you post it on TikTok to get clicks rather than, calling 911 and helping the individuals that are harmed. There's a moral aspect to this as well, and I don't think that he used good judgment or good moral judgment. And being a part of a government and law enforcement, he should have known better, A, to either do it, or B, just if you run across it, just to advertise it on social media. That is something that a childish, immature person would do, not a responsible former law enforcement official. So that's number one. Number two, I hope that Sean Duffy and the Department of Transportation, I'm sure that they are, and I'm not the only person that's probably thought of this, but never before in my life, in my 62 years, have I ever heard of airports losing contact, going black for 30, 60, 90 seconds ever in my life. And in the last 2 weeks, we've seen it, 3-4 times? And it's specific airports. I think that there was one in Atlanta. It was Colorado. I think it was Colorado. And then, of course, the Newark, New Jersey. I find it highly suspicious that these little bits of security glitches are occurring, and we've never heard of them before until Trump got into office and Sean Duffy took over the Department of Transportation. Now, is it sabotage? I believe it's sabotage. Could it be one of our international foes that is sabotaging us? Could it be local? Could it be internal? Could it be angry FAA workers who are sick to friggin' death of having to suffer and struggle through lack of employees, lack of training, lack of sleep, lack of support, lack of everything, and that this is happening? They're, sabotaging to drill home a point that they need emergency funding and emergency upgrades immediately. Could be. But sabotage is sabotage, and I think that it's sabotage. And I hope that Duffy's looking into that. What better way to go after the United States than to ground our airplanes and our air travel? It's nuts. Of course, it's life-threatening. It can kill people, but who's doing it? I don't believe that all of a sudden, all at once, in the last 2 weeks, 2 airports that are a continent apart are having the same identical thing. And it's always 90 seconds, isn't it? All of these incidences have been 90 seconds. They go black for 90 seconds. They lose complete contact and control of all of the air traffic for 90 seconds. Why is it 90 seconds? If they've got a mouse chewing a wire, it's not, that mouse isn't on timing. Oh, my hair is like staticky today. They're not, looking at their little mousy watch going, okay, 90 seconds. All right, now let's get the electrical tape and fix the copper wire. No. There are too many coincidences in these incidences that make me believe this is sabotage. Now, the more deals that Trump makes with our adversaries, frenemies, sort of allies, the less cyber crime we're going to have. Not just the threats and the financial and all the other things that are benefiting to everyone involved. But when you're at peace with your adversaries, they are less likely to attack you. And because identity theft and home title fraud and all of these other things, these cybersecurity issues always come down to some faction overseas, Russia, China, etc. I think that you're less likely to do that to your friends and your allies than you would be your enemies. You want your enemies to look bad. So I think that all of these deals will create a world environment where there's going to be less crime all the way around, but less cybercrime, less identity theft, and hopefully they will find out if these blackouts at the airports are cyber crimes, sabotage, and who is propagating this. And this is part of national security, along with securing all of these deals with these other nations that we've had such a fragile, unpredictable relationship with, roller coaster relationship with. And it also has to do with the security of our nation. And when we have people, of course, blowing up the Teslas and now taking Hobby Lobby shells and writing veiled threats that were actually on the vehicles, keyed onto the vehicles or spray painted onto the vehicles by terrorists, and now you're on a beach and you see the terrorist's logo of 8647, that is also a threat. And that's why they're going to take it so seriously. So if anybody out there is like, oh, God, it's just whatever. It's a beach. It's free space. People are just writing stuff. No, there's a little more to it. The responsibility of the person who happened upon it, of course, the appalling behavior and actions of those who did it. Was it kids thinking it was a funny joke? But here's the thing. The only one that posted that online was Comey, and that's how everybody found out about it. Because if it was a bunch of kids playing a prank, it would have been all over social media, and cybersecurity experts and authorities and law enforcement would have been immediately on that if they knew it was a bunch of kids. So I tend to think that Comey may have had something to do with it. Either way, there's not that many shells in one spot. I'm telling you right now. I've been on the beach. If you've ever been on the beach, yeah, you really have to go a long time to find all those shells. So that's number one. Especially shells that look like they came from those restaurants, where you get oysters and stuff, or the Hobby Lobby has bags of shells. Yeah, that was staged. Whether it was Comey or not, it was staged. And it was, a threat that had been part of the Tesla attacks. So I think that it is within the administration's authority to be concerned and to investigate it and to talk to him about it and to find out a little more about it. But I hope that they look into this threat, because threats are sabotage. They sabotage the condition of how people view their nation, view their personal safety, and how they feel, the confidence that you have. Sabotage does a lot more than just steal your bank account money or shut your airport down for 90 seconds. Sabotage can be emotional or mental sabotage, not just financial or, physical, by preventing you from getting something done that needs to be done. This can be emotional. It can be mental. And and saboteurs will want to, take a needle and start finally injecting into your self these backhanded remarks, whether they be verbal on social media or in seashells on the beach. It's creating a questionable lack of confidence in humans, in Americans, about what's going on. It makes you stop and think, well, why would somebody think like that? I don't believe that, but what's going on here? Why would they think? And then you want to sit back and you want to look at it a little bit. And then that's when you realize uh, that they are making you doubt yourself, making you question your confidence in our nation and the direction our nation is going. That's sabotage, plain and simple. And threat to the president's life aside. Okay. So, yeah, I think sabotage is becoming an issue, and I think that they need to look into it. And I hope that they find out what's going on with both the airport, the 90-second blackouts at the airport, and this ridiculous incident with Comey. And until next time, do good and be good.